There are a handful of memories from middle school that still sit in the back of my head, and most of them are harmless, awkward, first crushes, bad haircuts, dodgeball bruises. But one of them has never left me. I think it changed me. When I was in 7th grade, I was quiet, not painfully shy, just different. I hung out with a few other misfits, Tyrese, Brendan, Milo, and me. We weren't the popular kids, but we had our thing. Obsessed with mystery books, bike rides, and those old ghost caught on camera YouTube videos that looked like they were filmed with a microwave. We were tight. At least, we thought so. Looking back, there were cracks forming in the group. Tyrese and I had started drifting from Brendan and Milo. No drama, just growing up. But then, Milo invited us on a weekend trip to a cabin his family owned near the edge of the Black Hills in South Dakota, supposedly passed down from his grandfather. None of us had ever heard about it before. I should have known something was weird when he said there was no phone signal up there. Total peace, he called it. His family was different. They didn't speak much. His dad barely said more than 5 words the entire drive. He wore surgical gloves the whole time and wiped everything down with alcohol wipes, even the air vents. And I had the sniffles. Let's just say that didn't go over well. The cabin sat on a patch of forest with no neighbors for miles. 2 stories, old as hell, and somehow colder inside than it was outside. Something about it made me feel disoriented, like it had too many corners, too many shadows. The first day was normal. We rode bikes, explored the woods, goofed off. At night, we crashed in a room with 2 bunk beds. I had the bottom left. Milo had the top across from me. It was the second night that things started to shift. I couldn't find my hat. A snapback I got from my cousin in Barcelona, with the FC logo stitched across the front. It was my favorite. Milo swore I must have left it outside. I was pretty sure I'd brought it back in. I was upset, but Milo's dad just said, "Things get lost in the woods. Don't let it ruin your weekend." So I tried not to. But the next day, one of my favorite gel pens was gone. I was a weird kid. I collected pens like they were trading cards. That one had a little shark floating in the cap. I was crushed. Tyrese remembered seeing me fidgeting with it during a ride, but that didn't help. I claimed I had a headache and went to bed early. I woke up around 3 a.m., couldn't fall back asleep, tossed and turned in the bunk when I heard something soft, almost impossible to hear at first, whispering. I stopped moving. The air felt like it dropped 10 degrees. I could barely make it out, but someone was whispering. I couldn't understand the words. It was like they were speaking behind glass, muffled, frantic, like a one-sided conversation. It was coming from the top bunk across from me. Milo's bed. I never worked up the courage to speak. Eventually, I passed out with the covers pulled over my head. The next morning, I tried to forget about it. Didn't mention it to anyone. We were in the yard throwing rocks at a tree stump when Milo said he had to use the bathroom. He was gone for a while. Not unusual for him. But then something strange happened. I looked back at the cabin. In one of the upstairs windows, I saw Milo staring at us. Blank expression. Not moving, not blinking, just watching. And here's the thing that snapped the breath out of my lungs. That window was above the kitchen. There was no second-floor bathroom. I turned to Tyrese to say something, but when I looked back, Milo was gone. That evening, Milo's dad wanted to take us into town for dinner. I faked a stomach ache. He didn't seem too concerned and said he'd bring me back leftovers. As soon as the car left, I got up. I went straight to Milo's bunk. I didn't know what I was looking for. Maybe that pen, maybe that hat. But what I found instead made my blood run cold. My Barcelona snapback was stuffed deep in his duffel bag. Then I saw my missing gel pen, my spare toothbrush, even my pocket-sized flashlight. But the worst thing, a pair of my boxers. I didn't even know they were missing. I was shaking. I was about to put everything back when I saw a leather notebook tucked under his clothes. I wish I hadn't opened it. The pages were covered in pencil drawings, disturbing ones, sketches of twisted humanoid creatures with melted faces, insects crawling out of mouths, eyes stabbed with scissors. Some of the pages were torn from being drawn on too hard. Then I turned a page and saw myself, a pencil drawing of me, lying face down in the dirt, my backpack torn open, blood pouring from my ears. Another page had me hanging from a tree. My name showed up over and over again. The last page, just 4 words under my name. It happens tomorrow night. I don't know how long I stood there holding that notebook. I kept flipping back to that last page, my name at the top, and those words, "It happens tomorrow night." Something in me broke. That middle school bravery I always thought I had just dissolved. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely slide the notebook back into the bag. But I didn't put it all back. I tore that last page out and stuffed it into my hoodie pocket. The others came back an hour later, all of them loud and laughing like nothing was wrong. I pulled Milo's dad aside in the hallway, while Tyrese and Brendan turned on a movie in the den. I told him everything, quietly, as calm as I could. He didn't believe me at first, until I handed him the paper. I watched his face shift from confusion to something I didn't understand, something colder. He didn't say a word at first. Then he told me, "Put everything back. Don't tell the others." I didn't want to. I hated that idea. But I was 13. He was the adult. I was terrified and running on instinct. He moved fast, came back into the den, and told everyone there was a family emergency, something about his brother, and that we had to leave right now. Within 15 minutes we were packed and loading the car. I didn't make eye contact with Milo the whole time, but I felt him watching me. The drive back to town was silent. The sky had started to rain. It was the kind of rain that made the windshield look like it was melting. We didn't stop once. First, we dropped off Milo. His house was dark. No one came out to greet him. When the door shut behind him, I felt something shift in the car, like we could breathe again. Then we dropped off Brendan and Tyrese. They lived just a few houses apart. That left just me and Milo's dad, driving the last 10 minutes in silence. He finally spoke. Said he talked to Milo's parents and they were going to handle it privately. He told me not to mention anything to my family, that it would only cause panic, that things would be taken care of. But when I walked into my house and saw my mom's face, I cracked. I told her everything, showed her the page. My parents were horrified. Within the hour, police were at our house. I repeated my story over and over, my voice shaking with every retelling. I don't know how much I helped, but when they asked for proof, I gave them the ripped notebook page. That was enough to get a warrant. What they found in Milo's room confirmed everything, and worse, the notebook was still there, along with more drawings. Some had my name, others had my friends. There were photos too, Blurry, low-light shots of us sleeping in the cabin. Me on the bunk, Brendan by the window. One photo was of Tyrese brushing his teeth. The most disturbing thing? The timestamp showed those photos were taken 2 nights before the whispering. Meaning, Milo had already been planning something. He'd been sneaking around the house, photographing us, watching us, stalking us. They also found my missing items, pens, flashlight, even a wrapper from a snack I had on the drive there. His parents didn't explain much, but that week, Milo was gone, withdrawn from school. The family moved 2 towns over and disappeared. I never saw or heard from him again. Until last month. I live in Milwaukee now. Whole new city, new job. Life moved on, mostly. But 3 weeks ago I got a letter. No return address. Just my name written in careful block letters on the front. Inside was something I hadn't seen in over a decade. The shark pen. The one I lost in the Black Hills. Taped to the back of the envelope was a note. 5 words, written in messy pencil. Tomorrow night still works too. I don't know if it's a joke. I don't know how he found me. I don't know if he ever left me alone. But I haven't slept since it arrived.